Engaging stealth systems. Somebody was doing some serious digging here, Captain.
Your team's the muscle in this operation, Commander. Go in heavy and head straight for the dig site.
What about survivors, Captain?
Helping survivors is a secondary objective. The beacon's your top priority.
Approaching drop point 1.
Nihilus, you coming with us?
I move faster on my own.
He's just too good for us.
Nihilus
In
will
short?
scout out ahead. He'll feed you status reports throughout the mission. Otherwise, I want radio silence.
Alright. We can continue to doubt whether to trust him. But, no, I think given how he said, or he was the one who volunteered us for, being considered for the Spectres, I think he can count on us, and we can count on him, hopefully.
We've got his back, Captain.
The mission's yours now, Shepard. Good luck.
We are approaching drop point 2.
So this is also basically our tryout to see if we will qualify for this elite group of special forces. A group that humans have never been a member of before, called the Spectres.
Hard, Commander. Hostiles everywhere.
And here we are.
Keep your guard up.
Okay, so we'll see here. There's obviously us. There's our friend Jenkins, who we were talking to on the ship, and then Caden, who was up by the pilot as well. So they are our teammates here. And we can also just take a quick look at our map to see this is where we're starting in. But in theory, the dig site is over here. That's where we're supposed to be heading. Oh. And there's also, well, more stuff further on, but in general, we'll head over in that direction. But we'll see in the meantime what, if anything, we might be able to encounter along the way. So, we, of course, well, we can run around, but, we decided to be a sentinel. Oh.
Gas bags. Don't worry, they're harmless.
So Jenkins is actually from this colony here, this human colony. So, understandable that he knows what the deal is here. He says these things are harmless. Now, you can actually, if you want to, do that.
Perimeter secured.
But there are a few other things we can pick up here. Namely, we've got this, which is a first aid interface, which is actually an upgrade. And we are continuing to get additional codex entries. Now, like I said, I think we'll try to read those, try to mix that up when and where we're reading them. Equipment screen allows you to equip and upgrade gear for your squad. Click the filter tab to switch item types. Select an item and click the equip button, assign it. You get the idea. So basically, we have ourselves, we have Caden, who's actually also a sentinel, and then we have Jenkins, who I believe is technically a soldier. And so we'll see our different weapons here. Like we have the Lancer, which I believe is the assault rifle. Then we have the Storm, which is, I think, a shotgun. Yeah, shotgun. Then we have Kessler is our pistol, and this is technically the only weapon that we are trained to use. So this is likely the one that we're going to be using long-term. Sniper rifle, which also untrained, unlikely to use that. We have some grenades. Omni tools, which is basically our special handy-dandy 3D printer of sorts, which we use to help us pull off our tech abilities. Biotic amp, which you can't really see, but is basically just allowing us to more effectively use our biotic or telekinetic-ish abilities. And then we have our armor. And so each character will have those same sets of gear, but depending on what class they are and what skills we have on them, they may be more or less skilled with those specific weapons and what have you. So I believe we picked up, I don't recall exactly what it was. Might have been just, yeah, I don't think we have anything, or at least don't have much to use here, so I don't recall what exactly it was that we picked up, but we'll just keep an eye out for other pieces of loot such as that might help us out. Now, we could, if we wanted to, do that, but there's no real reason to do so. What happened here? Okay. I don't recall as to whether there's... That may be in terms of loot in that area there. I think we just carry on here. And thanks for stopping by, Rumi. Hold. Something's up. What are those gas bags? Go? Jenkins! What are you doing, dude? Got some Geth recon drones over here. One down. Hold on. Two down. Three down. I believe we actually leveled up in the process.
Not now, Commander.
You know, maybe not the best time to chat. Jenkins. It does kind of look like you've seen better days.
Ripped right through his shields. Never had a chance.
Dude, man. That was awfully quick. He does deserve a burial, at the very least,
We'll
right?
see that he receives a proper service once the mission is complete. But I need you to stay focused.
Aye, aye, sir.
Okay. So, you'll also see one of the other things that is happening in the bottom right corner is we're getting that Paragon +2 or plus whatever it may be. And if we take a look here, let's see, where's the best place for us to check it out? I think is it on the equipment screen? No. I think it's actually on... I don't recall what the name of the menu for it is. Squad? Here it is. Squad. Okay. So the squad screen lets you view your team's talents. Mouse over talents, or rank to view it. And then this is sort of like the more, I mean, of course, equipment is RPG-like, but this is the skill points that we have available to us. So, like I was saying, we chose to be a Sentinel, which is a combination of biotics and tech abilities, whereas Caden is actually also a Sentinel, so he is a combo of also biotic and tech abilities here. And so if we look at, let's start with us here, we have the throw ability, which throws enemies away from the caster with a force of 600 newtons. So again, this is sort of like a telekinetic ability there. And then decryption. Use decryption skill on easy objects. It does some damage in a small radius, actually somewhat large radius. Overheats enemy weapons and burns them for a little bit of damage over time. And so we actually have 6 ability points here, so we can use that to either improve our existing abilities or get some new ones, like First Aid, increasing squad healing. Sentinel, which reduces our cooldown times for our special abilities. Charm, which is a sort of social skill that will open up new dialogue options to us. We haven't seen any of those yet, but there will at times be certain options in dialogues that you can only use if you have a certain amount of charm, or the opposite, intimidate. Charm is sort of, as you might imagine, the more goody two-shoes type of options, whereas intimidate is more the brute force, aggressive approach. Other things you'll see here are the Paragon and Renegade meters here. So that's what we were talking about in the bottom right corner. We are getting some Paragon points. Similarly to the Charm and Intimidate, this is basically anytime you do one of those, quote-unquote, goody two-shoes, or, just generally trying to be an honorable person, if you will gain points to fill your Paragon meter, whereas when you do things that are aggressive, then you will start to fill your Renegade meter. And so that is the morality system, if you will, in Mass Effect 1. And so there oftentimes in Mass Effect 1, it tends to be such that you will focus on going more or less all out on one of those two things and not doing much in the way of mixing and mingling, because if you do, then that means that you have to invest a lot in both Charm and Intimidate, or, you might not fill one of the meters if you're also trying to work on the other. So for that reason, I will probably be spending most, if not all of our time, when we have the option, focusing on the Paragon side of things. So, that being said, I think for that reason we will deliberately spec some points quickly into Charm here, so that as soon as we get one of those options, hopefully we can still make a point of using it. So that does mean that, well, that's using a lot of our points here already. But what else would we like to do? I think before we start talking about cooldown recovery, how about we improve our skills themselves? And I think we might want to improve throw here. So at the moment it's 600 newtons of force, and then if we upgrade it, it just becomes more powerful, generally speaking. Let's do that. And then you'll see here that at the moment, we actually cannot go any further than that. We need to get further before we can unlock further rounds of that ability. So we either hold off, or we opt to spend more points in a different category. And some of these categories you'll see are grayed out. And the way this works is, in order to unlock lift, we need 7 points in throw. So basically these two categories are sort of tied to one another. And then similarly with stasis and barrier, we need 6 points in barrier in order to get stasis. And then we need 4 points in decryption in order to get electronics. And we need 5 points in first aid before we can start doing medicine. So for that reason, there's absolutely reason to try to do what you can to focus on getting to a certain point in these initial skills in order to unlock these other ones. They aren't necessarily inherently better, although there are certainly some things down here in the other abilities that we would like to get the chance to use soon. So, all that being said, I think electronics is also something that we would like to do soon, so let's try putting our next point in decryption, maybe. Okay. So, well, Jenkins is no more. But that doesn't mean we're done here. Metashell is needed to heal injured squad members. I mean, Caden took a tiny bit of damage. Okay, he did take some damage. Omni-Shell can be used to bypass decryption and electronic challenges. Both can be used for something. Press V to use Metashell to heal your squad. Well, alright, Caden, it's a little bit overkill here, but sure. So we do have, as you can see there, below our life bar, which is that red sort of semicircle shape, you'll see there's that sort of plus sign, sort of the typical first aid sign, and then a 4 below it. That's the number of Metashell that we have. So it is in limited supply. And then the blue is our shields, which is basically same idea as life. It's just that that will replenish over time if we take if we go a certain amount of time without taking damage, whereas our life will stay unfull if we take damage. Okay, another one down here. It's like, Caden, if you could take cover, that'd be great. I miss.
I've got some burned out buildings here, Shepard. A lot of bodies. I'm gonna check it out. I'll try to catch up with you at the dig site.
Okay, so Nihilus is pushing ahead. He's found some not so good stuff happening here. I think early on, we're gonna level up very quickly. That is kind of just the nature of this. Or in fact, actually, I think the game was prompting us to use our skill points, and we sort of preemptively did that, so we're actually good here. Caden, okay, I think it's just your shields that took damage there. Left shift to issue orders to your squad mates. So other things we can do is you'll see here Caden's menu popping up, and we can direct him to use a specific weapon or skill. So he's also a Sentinel, which means he also has access to the same types of skills. Oh, actually, we leveled up ourselves. However, we did not level up Caden. So whenever we level up, our squad mates will level up along with us. So given how we have the same types of skills as Caden, because we're both Sentinels, makes things a little bit tricky in terms of what do we want to have us do versus have him do. You know, if we're not careful, we're going to have us doing exactly the same thing, which is not necessarily a terrible thing, but we probably do want to make a point of having us specialize a little bit more in one thing and having him specialize a little bit in something else. Yeah, is Paragon Renegade kind of like a lawful versus chaotic? In many ways, I think you could sort of look at it like that, yeah. So lawful, it would be Paragon, whereas chaotic would be more like Renegade. That's a pretty close corollary, I think, yeah. I think good and evil is maybe a little bit too far, though. You know, ultimately, we're the protagonists, so in some ways, at least from our perspective, no matter what we do, we're quote-unquote the good guy. So even if you go the Renegade option, it's not necessarily that you're doing the an evil thing. It's more like a get the job done no matter what the cost type of approach. So at times it does mean you're risking or sacrificing things in order to get the job done, which maybe a Paragon would take more of a slow, steady diplomatic approach and not go straight in, all guns blazing. Something kind of like that. And I think for Kaidan, what we might do here is, so I took, throw and decryption as the early skills for us. For that reason, why don't we focus on first aid for Kaidan, and maybe barrier as well, but let's maybe prioritize first aid, especially because he's taken damage already, again. And I think, at least at the early levels, this is not going to be a huge deal for us, but I'd like to get the medicine part unlocked. I mean, we are probably going to want that later on as well, because it actually gives you access to, despite it being labeled medicine, a very strong offensive ability, or somewhat of a support ability as well, in Neural Shock. Then maybe for our other one, we'll give him barrier, because it does seem like he could use a little bit more defense, because while I'm trying to make a point of staying somewhat in cover, him, a little bit less so. We can direct him around, and by that I mean we can actually tell him to, like, go in a specific place, or at least we could. So, admittedly, first time I played Mass Effect, I played it on console, not on PC. Obviously, we're on PC here. So, controls-wise, it's a little bit of a learning curve for me. I have been playing Mass Effect 3 multiplayer recently. There's at least some similarities there. There are actually still more of these guys. Oh, I missed. Fortunately, these guys are, like, basically shoot them once and they go down. I assure you that will not be the case with every enemy that we face. Oh, I missed again. There we go. Other things you'll see in the bottom right corner are we're getting experience and we're getting monies whenever we fight or defeat enemies. Want to keep an eye out for any hidden loot here, though, as well. Because, yep, here's a medical kit. That could certainly be useful. Let's nab it. That gives us an additional metagel, and we did use one of those previously, so I think that's certainly nice to have. If we check our map here again, we can see that we're generally looking to head in that direction, but it does open up a bit in this area. So for that reason, we might find some additional things hidden along the sides, kind of like what we just did. See something else there? Don't think so. Just keeping our eyes peeled, because I suspect we might... That's the one that we found previously. Okay, why don't we push on here, then? Whoa! What do we have here? Nicely done. Oh, what is that? That doesn't look good. Okay, I think we should probably help this person out. The Get Troopers. One down. Two down.
Thanks for your help, Commander. I didn't think I was gonna make it.
Ashley Williams. Okay, let's chat.
Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams of the 212. You the one in charge here, sir?
I think she was the person that we saw on the sort of mission preview before, who was giving us that distress signal. Are you okay?
Are you wounded, Williams?
A few scrapes and burns, nothing serious. The others weren't so lucky. Oh man. We were patrolling the perimeter when the attack hit. We tried to get off a distress call, but they cut off our communications. I've been fighting for my life ever since.
So basically, she is, at the moment at least, a lone soldier here. Got in a little bit of a rough spot, given how those guys were just attacking her unit. What happened
Where's
to
the
them
rest
exactly?
Of your squad?
We tried to double back to the beacon, but we walked into an ambush.
Oh.
I don't think any of the others... I think I'm the only one left.
Okay, well, don't blame yourself.
This isn't your fault.
You didn't see it
Williams.
coming.
You couldn't have done anything to save them.
Yes, sir. We held our position as long as we could, until the Geth overwhelmed us.
The Geth haven't been seen outside the Veil in nearly 200 years. Why are they here now?
They must have come for the beacon. The dig site is close, just over that rise. It might still be there.
Okay. Well, I mean, the thing is, we are down someone at the moment. We could use an extra helping hand.
We could use your help, Williams.
Aye, aye, sir. It's time for payback.
Ooh, alright. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Geth? That is the name we saw on those drones we were shooting, as well as the troopers that we just saw fighting you.
What else do you know about the Geth?
Just what I remember from history class back in school. They're synthetics, non-organic life forms with limited AI programming, created by the Quarians a few centuries ago. They were supposed to be a source of cheap labor, but ended up turning on the Quarians and drove them into exile.
Oh.
Well, after that, they just kind of disappeared behind the Perseus Veil. Nobody's really heard much from them since.
Okay. So they caused a bit of a problem 200 years ago, but otherwise have been largely off the radar since. But now suddenly they're here. What about the beacon? What do you know about it?
Tell me everything you know about the beacon.
They were doing some digging out here to extend the monorail and expand the colony. A few weeks ago, they unearthed some Prothean ruins, and the beacon. Suddenly, every scientific expert in the colony was interested. That's when they brought us in to secure the site. I don't know much about the beacon itself, but I heard one of the researchers say this could be the biggest scientific discovery of the century.
Oh. That sounds big. Yeah. What about scientists down here? Did you guys have many, or was it largely, or a small enough colony that wasn't really the case?
What happened to the researchers at the dig site?
I don't know. They set up camp near the beacon. The 232 was with them. Maybe their unit fared better than mine.
Okay. What about what happened before the attack? You were obviously already here.
Describe what happened leading up to the attack.
We were sent out a couple of nights ago from the main colony to secure the area. Seemed like a routine patrol, until the Geth hit us. We never knew they were coming.
Okay, I assume this and the scientist is the same thing we were asking about before. Did you run into Nihilus at all? Because in theory, he was rushing ahead of us, and one would have thought you would have crossed paths with him in that case.
Have you seen a Turian Spectre around here?
There aren't any Turians on Eden Prime. None that I've ever met. Not sure I'd be able to tell if one was a Spectre anyway.
If you saw this guy, you'd know. Carries enough firepower to wipe out a whole platoon. Luckily, he's on our side.
Sorry. Like I said, no Turians.
Okay, I think that's all we can learn here, so let's carry on.
Move out.
Okay. So, let's escape to go into the squad screen, because we now have a new teammate. Ashley is now with us, and so she, as you can see here, is a soldier, so that means she is focused on the more weapons-oriented combat, so she can improve her pistol skills, and then through doing so, eventually get to the point where she can use shotgun upgrades. Similarly, assault rifles, after spending a bit of points in those, she will then be able to upgrade her sniper rifle capabilities. Also gets improved armor, and eventually, I believe, will gain the ability to wear, heavier armor in the process. And then also can eventually learn first aid. And then this is more so her sort of... Or no, adrenaline burst, let's see. Allows her to use her abilities more regularly, and that does eventually unlock immunity, or at least fitness, which gives us access to immunity, which, as the name implies, 70% damage reduction, and then later on, if you fully level this, gets to 90% damage reduction, which is just absolutely absurd. When I first played this game, my class was soldier, and so I do remember putting on master immunity and just face tanking everything, and it's pretty crazy. But that is potentially something that we'll want to try to get her to be able to do. As for short term, though, and soldier is just health, And she's generally going to be our tankiest person here, because, well, being a soldier, she's more used to being in the front lines, whereas Caden and ourselves, much less so. So we can either prioritize the damage here, or we can prioritize more the defenses. And, although at least at the moment, she's only at 112 HP, which is not that much. If we just compare real quick. Oh, that is everyone, I suppose. Same amount. Why don't we... I'm not so thrilled about giving her first aid, because, of course, we have it. Caden also has it. So I think we don't prioritize combat armor at the moment. So I'm thinking we either go with maybe assault rifles and sniper rifles later on, or we give her a little bit more health. Let's go with maybe assault rifles for the time being. So with the first level, she learns Overkill, which allows long bursts of assault rifle fire without overheating. One thing that I didn't really talk about before was that technically, I believe, or at least this used to be the case in Mass Effect 1, unless they changed it with the Legendary Edition, there actually is not weapon ammo. There is instead a sort of bar that will fill as you fire your weapon, and if that bar fills, then your weapon overheats. So basically what Overkill does is it allows you to fire your weapon while generating 80% less heat and dealing far more damage, so it allows you to basically just spam your attack as much as possible, just fire away. So that is certainly an offensively oriented skill. I think I would like to get her able to use more types of weapons quickly, or at least use them more effectively quickly. So maybe let's throw in a couple more points here, and then throw in a point for perhaps Soldier, just to give her a little bit more defensive stuff going on, or even Assault Training just to get us closer to unlocking immunity later on. We need 5 points before we can unlock Fitness? Yeah. Let's go for that, maybe. Okay. So, we've now gained a teammate.
The beacon's at the far end of this trench.
Okay. Let's pick up some stuff here. So here you see we were looking a little bit at our gear previously. Now we have an ammo upgrade, Phasic rounds, and armor-piercing rounds as well. Let's take them all. And then this is light armor, the Scorpion 1. So let's take a look now at our gear, now that we have some options to look at. So we know we have some new armor, and it is just objectively... So this is our existing armor. This is the new armor that we just picked up. It is objectively better in basically every possible way. Damage protection is exactly what it sounds like. It's just how much damage reduction you have. Then shields, like we were talking about a little bit before, is basically like a second life bar. It's that blue bar above our life bar. When we take damage, first our shields get damaged, and if those reach 0, then we start taking damage to our health. If we go a certain amount of time without taking any damage, then our shields will recover, whereas our health will stay static. So having a big shield buffer is nice to have for sure. And for that reason, this is definitely something we would like to have someone equip, and I'm thinking, you know, we might nab this for ourselves here. Let's do that. And if we look at Caden, I think it was using the same type of armor that we had as well. Whereas Ashley actually does have something a little bit different here. Like I said, she is a soldier, so she's kitted out a little bit differently, and doesn't have quite as much tech biotic protection, which is basically protection against not so much weapons and, you know, bullets, as much as it's other telekinetic abilities that we actually have not yet used, but those types of things. And so I think for the most part, though, we're probably going to keep her existing armor on, because that's looking like that's going to be better. For us, though, we also picked up some new ammo, including armor-piercing rounds, which are specifically designed to puncture metal. These rounds are particularly effective against synthetic targets, plus 15% damage against synthetics. Now, as you might have remembered Ashley saying, the Geth are synthetics, they're robots. And so for that reason, this would give us 15% extra damage against them. That would be helpful. Alternatively, we have Phasic rounds, which instead of projectiles, upgraded weapons release charge particle bolts, which can bypass kinetic barrier shields. However, the actual damage done to the target is typically less than what's done by a standard round. So it's basically a way of working around heavily shielded targets, although technically speaking, your total damage is still a little bit less. So I think let's nab the armor-piercing rounds for ourselves, although could make the case that Ashley is actually going to be the most effective with her weapon, so it might be best to put it on her. But, let's take a quick look here and see what other things we have picked up. Yeah, just the armor, and I think we have that other ammo that we could use, so maybe we do that for Caden. Give him the basic rounds. There is also another type of upgrade that we can have here, where we will improve the effectiveness of not so much the ammo as much as the weapon itself. I did not catch, that might have been what we picked up with our first upgrade. In fact, let's take a quick look over here. I think it might have been even an armor upgrade, yeah. First aid interface. So microprocessors wired into a combat suit can monitor vital functions and release small, localized doses of metagel to accelerate the healing process. So what this does is, when we equip it on our armor, it's an upgrade for our armor, and it gives us 1 life regeneration per second. And that is helpful, for sure, because by default, we do not have any life regeneration. So we would like to have that so that we don't have to be using metagel every time we get a little bit hurt. And if we look at our teammates right now, we now, of course, see that we have Ashley down there as well. And both of them look like they're on full HP. So it doesn't look like we need any metagel administered at the moment. I want to double check if we missed anything here, but I don't think we did. Or if we did, then it shouldn't be anything too significant. Anything hiding in this corner? No, let's carry on. We chat with Ashley?
This world was safe until the Geth showed up.
I mean, I suppose you're right.
Smells like smoke and death.
Yeah, I suppose you're also right. So, we saw this guy get skewered. No real explanation about that just yet. Run to the waypoint to take cover. Okay. Move to the edge of cover and press fire. That we can do. This is a sniper rifle, which is not really what I'm looking for right now. Nor is that assault rifle. Nor is the shotgun. Here we go. There's our pistol. Okay, so, I mean, we can see that is the place we're looking to go right there. That's the dig site. But, let's, yeah, continue. Oh. I would like to, hold on. There we go. Probably trying to help out our friends right now. There we go. There are more of them. You can see the red dots on our new map in the bottom right corner. Just showing us that, yeah, there are certainly still some hostiles. Looks like more Geth troopers. Okay. We did just level up as well. And again, when we level up, our entire party levels up. We can't really shoot them through that barrier there. That rock. Try flanking them. There are actually a couple here still. This one did not realize we were flanking, though. This guy's gonna hurt. Although, got our shields reduced, although didn't actually take any life damage, so that's good. We can also melee attack, this is true. We got close enough that it might have become relevant. So, let's see here. This, I think, is the spot we're looking for. Before we do that, let's maybe just check out this crate real quick. Get some loot. So we got a new pistol, and we got a grenade upgrade. Let's take them all. And we did also level. So like I said, I think we're going to end up leveling fairly quickly early on here. And that's probably a good sign, because we would like to make a point of, well, using more points soon. And we've been focusing on upgrading our throw ability, so let's do that. And then for Caden, we were saying maybe we focus on more so first aid first. Let's do that. Then on Ashley's side, I would like to maybe, we get to assault training, what is this, 1, 2, 3 more, so 5 total, then we'll unlock fitness, and then we can start getting to immunity. I would kind of like that. I mean, the early levels of immunity, I suppose it's still 75% damage reduction, which is pretty huge. I was going to say, maybe it's not that important early on, but I mean, it's very big, even from the beginning. It just gets increasingly better as you go on. So, maybe we do this and give her adrenaline burst. Okay. Ooh. Then we picked up a little bit more gear. Namely, what was it? A new pistol, which, as we can see here, has higher damage and higher heat sink capacity. So this is basically like ammo. Like I was saying, you don't actually have ammo that you run out of as much as it's you fire your weapon, and the longer you're firing it for, the more your heat meter fills up, and if it gets full, your weapon will overheat, and then you can't fire it for a little bit. So this is basically the amount of time you can fire it before it overheats. So in this case, the damage is better, the accuracy is worse. Largely just a matter of personal preference. I suppose we can probably take it, though. Our pistol's already fairly accurate. And let's transfer over the upgrades as well. That way we still have our ammo upgrade too. Thought we might have picked up an ammo upgrade in that pack as well, in which case we could potentially give something to Ashley. No, we did not, unfortunately. Okay. In that case, never mind. Sorry, Ashley. But she is definitely, in theory, our highest damage, at least person with a gun. So we should make a point of doing that soon. But here is the dig site we're looking for. What do we have?
This is the dig site. The beacon was right here. It must have been moved.
By who?
Uh-oh.
Our side or the Geth?
Hard to say. Maybe we'll know more after we check out the research camp.
Okay, are there any survivors at the camp?
You think anyone got out of here alive?
If they were lucky. Maybe hiding up in the camp. It's just on the top of this ridge, up the ramps.
Okay. So, we've now...
Plan, Shepard. There's a small spaceport up ahead. I want to check it out. I'll wait for you there.
Okay. Yeah, also more of these spikes. Whatever they are. So we were originally planning to just check out the beacon, which was supposedly right here, although that has apparently been moved. Okay, that's the weapon we want. Let's just check. So we've got Caden on the pistol right now. Yeah, we have Ashley on the assault rifle. And then we can make a point of directing them to use specific abilities if we'd like to. Oh, can we actually... Yeah, I would like to set up our quick slots there so that I can make more of a point of actually using our skills here. Let me just check. If we do that, the control... No? How do I actually... Oh. How do I actually set up our quick skills there? Because that would certainly be preferable. Let's see. So if I do this, can I allocate? Yeah, like if we just throw in spot 1. There we go. Now we're talking. Okay. So now, as of yet, we've just been using our pistol to shoot people, but like I was saying, we're a Sentinel. Our specialty is not really firing weapons. It's using our biotic abilities and our tech abilities, and so now that I have those prepped to use, we'll make a point of making it happen. Okay, so this is the place where supposedly the researchers were.
Looks like they hit the camp hard.
It does look like it's currently burning.
Ambush. Keep your guard up.
Oh. Okay. Thanks. Thanks for that warning. Yeah, that doesn't look good.
Oh God, they're still alive.
What?
What did the Geth do to them?
Okay. Well, see, the thing is here, it's attacking us. Let's throw it. So that is throw right there for you. That is one of our abilities. Let's shoot it as well, though. Here's another one. So our throw has a cooldown. We can't just use it all the time, but, okay. Husks down, it would seem. Anyone or anything else here? Got an upgrade kit. Sounds good to me. That's the same pistol I believe we started off with. That assault rifle, I believe, is just a... Well, we can check it out. Most relevant for Ashley, of course, because she's the only one who's trained with it. It would be similar to what we saw with the pistol that we picked up previously. Higher damage, but lower accuracy and lower capacity. I think we're probably fine with what we have on her at the moment. I'd like to get other upgrades for her, though. We got one upgrade kit over there. Anything else we want to check out here, like this?
That door. It's closed. Security lock's engaged.
Okay. Some locked objects require decryption or electronics to access. If any squad member has the required talent, you will be able to unlock the objects using the decryption or electronics interface, or by spending Omnigel. Advance to the central core. Move the mouse, move around the ring. Okay, yeah, so this is a little mini-game for basically unlocking locked things. So let's see. Basically, there's going to be a series of circles, and we need to make our way into the middle of the circles. You'll see in just a second. Left click, right click to move inward and outward. Okay, avoid security programs. Gotcha. Let's begin. Okay. Ooh, I got hit. Wrong way. And we are timed. There we go. So that's the mini game to, at least in this case, get this thing unlocked.